than all the other Republicans and Jim Matheson combined. Okay, Jim Matheson raises all his money in PACs, not from individual citizens. Number 3, I have over 200 right now, and hope as we move along, it keeps increasing. I have over 200 volunteers on the campaign. We have built one of the biggest grassroots campaigns for a congressman pretty much ever at this stage of the game.
That's key.
And we are pushing it forward hard. Number 4, and this may be the biggest. For the first time in a decade, every major conservative group who gets involved in races has coalesced behind one candidate, and I'm honored to be that candidate. I've been endorsed by Senator Mike Lee. I've been endorsed by Club for Growth, Family Research Council, Citizens United, Concerned Women for America, Eagle Forum, Gun Owners of America, the Madison Project, and just today was endorsed by it's called ROPAC, Repeal Obamacare Political Action Committee. They endorsed me just today. All the major organizations who get involved in primary elections and get involved have finally coalesced behind one candidate to defeat Matheson. They have never done that before. Lastly, I would say the 5th thing, the 5th quantifiable thing is I have the campaign organization that is second to none. We have Dan Hauser. Dan Hauser is my campaign chairman. He was the manager for Mike Lee. Heather Williamson is my my deputy campaign manager. She was deputy campaign manager for Senator Lee. We have really bright people. We have Alex, who's helping on the campaign. We have bright, motivated people in the campaign organization. We're retiring Jim Matheson this year. We're going to make him the Bill Orton of 2012.
Yeah, has the boundaries of the district helped?
Helped me?
Yeah.
Tremendously. I grew up in Salt Lake County. This is home. This is my stomping grounds. My family lives all over this valley. And
well, I mean, as far as the demographics between the Democrats and
the
Republicans.
Yes, because currently, if you take the Morgan Philpott Matheson race, that district was 58% Republican, 42 Democrat. The race, the district that we're in, the 4th congressional district, is 60-40. So he's lost 2%. It's now 2% more conservative, more Republican.
They're crying about it too.
They're whining.
They're gonna harp on that so bad.
Democratic chairman. He's a piece of work.
So the bottom line is this. Again, Steve Sanderson is one of my dearest friends. He and I were elected at the same time. Mia Love's a wonderful person. I just can't even begin to tell you. I'm just honored to be in the race with such great people. But if you're looking for the person who can beat Matheson, I think I'm the only one that has the quantifiable, measurable things that point out to say, yeah, here's the person that can beat Matheson.
Cool.
Any other comments, issues, or questions?
No, I'm so sick and tired of political correctness. I started business in about 71, 72. So I've been playing that game for a long time. You know, there was a little bit of it creeping in back then. I'm probably beyond you guys' age for that, but I'm just appalled at what I see with people flooding over the border to the south. And you know, I'm not. You have to be careful when you talk about stuff like this. People that feel racist.
You don't have to
for nothing.
You don't have to qualify your statements here.
And yet, I mean, I have no problem with any race, but I have a huge problem with people just sneaking into this country, and you know, I know a lot of them very good people. I mean, there's plenty of good law-abiding illegal aliens here, except for that one law that they broke.
Right.
Come into the country illegally, and then they raise kids here. It's a complex question. I take a pretty hard line on it. What's your attitude?
Yeah, I've traditionally in the legislature taken a very hard line as well. But let me give you. I have three points that I point out on my certain, without a doubt, that people have come across the southern border from the Middle East who want to cause this country harm. That is from FBI reports, CIA reports. They've reported it to Congress. They call them OTMs, other than Mexican, coming from the southern border into the country, and they want to cause the United States harm. It's suicidal to not secure our border. So we need to secure our border, number one. Number two, we need to eliminate the incentives that draw people here. When you can come to this country and get free health care, free housing, free food stamps, free education, discounted college tuition and driver's licenses, why wouldn't you come? Of course you're going to come. And who foots the bill? We do. Okay? So we eliminate the incentives. Lastly, free up. As hardline as you are, I bet you'll even agree with this. Free up the immigration procedures in this country. Allow people who want to come here, who want to produce, who want to contribute to the American way of life, who want to come here and actually move this country forward. Why would we not want them here?
Make it reasonable to be able to get in.
Let them come here. But when you have to stand in line for 10 years to get a visa, or 10 years to get into this nation, that is wrong. There's something wrong. Our immigration system is broken. And I think those three simple things can fix it. And a couple of years back, Senator Bob Bennett came and addressed the Utah legislature. He came and talked to us. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing about immigration? And he said, oh, we're not touching that. It's a hot issue. We're not touching that. And I sat there and I thought, we don't elect you to avoid the hot issues. We elect you to take on the hot issues. And you know what? If you get unelected because you made tough choices and you did the right thing, then you can hold your head high.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, you're electing me to go back and make the tough decisions. You're electing me to go back and not hide from the hot issues. And I'm going to dig into the hot issues. And I'm not going to hide and run and avoid just for the sake of being reelected.
Well, you know, that's the reason Bennett got booted, and that's why Hatch is in danger.
Yes. So let me, did you have one more thing?
I was going to say, what are your feelings as far as removing the born here from illegal parents?
Yeah.
Not being illegal, or?
My personal belief is that's a misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment. I believe that Congress has. Here's the thing that you probably didn't understand or didn't know. Maybe you did. I don't know. Did you know who's the check on the Supreme Court? Congress. You know, Congress can actually compel the Supreme Court to rehear something, but they never do.
That's what I don't understand. The Supreme Court's not supposed to be the last final
That's right.
say.
That's right. The Congress could compel the Supreme Court to rehear some of these damaging court cases that have occurred over a period of time. Wicker v. Filburn, a 1948 case that destroyed state sovereignty. Kirschbaum County, v. Walling, Kirschbaum County v. Walling, a 1946 case that destroyed state sovereignty. Roe v. Wade. They could go and look at the 14th Amendment again and say, this is never what the founding fathers intended.
But can Congress, if they rehear it and came to the same conclusion, can Congress compel them to change that?
Congress would have to
change the law.
They would have to change the law. They would have to change it. They would have to amend the Constitution.
Right.
Yeah. They could do that. It's a check and balance. They could do that. And I believe that needs to happen. We need to compel them to reevaluate the 14th Amendment, or we need to change the 14th Amendment, because it was never intended to allow for what people call anchor babies. You know, it was never intended to be that way. That was, the 14th Amendment was intended to capture, you know, the slavery, some of the slaves who didn't have citizenship and those types of things. It's never intended to be used the way it is now.
Right.
It's just wrong. It's wrong, it doesn't make sense. So.
Carl, I gotta run. I promised my wife like an hour.
No problem.
You know how it is. I've got 3 kids. Like, come home and put the kids to bed.
I'm going to wrap up right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
And yeah, because it is time to go, and you need to eat some of those delicious things. Alex is slaving over the stove. Are they for us?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was your dinner.
I can't eat that much.
I'm eating it whether you like it or not. That's why I'm on it. Let me wrap up by saying this. A couple years back, the Speaker of the House wanted to raise taxes. And I want to tell you the story, and then it'll be the last story I tell you, I promise, because I want you to know The Speaker of the Utah House wanted to raise taxes, $80 million. And during a down economy, it was the wrong thing to do. And he wanted every Republican to vote for it. He was ticked off when we were opposing it. And they got very, very angry because they wanted a united front because they didn't want us to leave some of them out hanging out to dry. They divided us up into different caucuses. They divided the Davis County Republicans in one room, Salt Lake County Republicans in one room, Utah County Republicans in one room. They sent leadership in. They said, we want every one of you to vote for this. And understand there's ramifications for what you do. Then they went around the room. I was in the Salt Lake County room. They went around and said, you gonna vote for it? Yeah. You gonna vote for it? Yeah. You gonna vote for it? I guess. You gonna vote for it? Yeah. They got to me. And I said, no. And they said, you understand that there are ramifications for your vote. In other words, they were saying that they were going to remove me from the Rules Committee, which is the most powerful committee on Capitol Hill. Doesn't mean anything to you, but it is the most powerful committee in Capitol Hill. And I was the least senior member of the committee. I was the vice chair of the Revenue and Taxation Committee. They even threatened at one point to take my office from me. They said, what are you going to do, put me in the hall? Give me a beanbag chair to sit on? I said, no. I said, you can kill every bill that I have this year. You can take my office from me. You can remove me from my committees. And I will never break my word. Never break my word with my constituents. I committed to them, the constituents I represented, that I would not vote for a tax increase. And voting for a tax increase during a down economy is the worst thing we could do. And it got very heated. I think they got scared and they walked out of the room. It didn't come to blows or anything, but I said a few things that I'm not proud of. But I want you to know something. When you send me back to Washington, D.C., you're sending a very friendly guy. I love people. But you're also sending someone who guards jealously the liberty and freedom of my kids. And there is nothing that anyone has in Washington, D.C. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of power that would cause me to sell out the liberty and freedom of my children. And I will defend that, and I will defend the Constitution ferociously if I have to. That's what you get when you elect me. And so I need your support. I'm making the sales pitch now, but it's very sincere. I need your support. I need people who believe the same things that I do to go and run as delegate on March 15th. You don't have to agree with me 100%. I don't ask for that. Nobody does. But if you believe in most of the things I've said, I need your support at convention. The next thing I need is I need more volunteers. Now, I told you we're building a huge grassroots base. The thing that we are desperate for, more than anything, are people who can make a few phone calls for us. They're friendly phone calls. They're not necessarily cold calls. They're calls to caucus attendees saying, hey, Carl Wimmer's going to be in your neighborhood next Wednesday night. Can you come over? We need people that can do that, can make 5 calls a week, 100 calls a week, 100 calls a day. Whatever you can do, we need it. There's a sign-up sheet right here. Let me grab that out. Yeah. You have a sign-up sheet. Matter of fact, you can leave it there. Before you leave, if you would be willing, as you're eating and getting a cookie, please sign up. If nothing else, sign up to get our emails. We send out emails to update you on the campaign. But I need people